So I am going to get people started here at school. So some of the procedures that we do here at school are specific to school. Those of you working at home, though, you still need to make sure that you're doing this properly and that you are um, keeping your clay wet enough to work with from day to day, and that you are doing the correct procedures for um, for this project. So remember, we're making a 3D animal. So we're taking two pinch pots and we're going to put them together. So go over here. So you guys want to come on over here. Yes, please. Yeah, I gotta get that stuff out there. I just never have time. I have two people. What are the rest of you doing? Hello? Hello? Come on over here. I need to retire. Sorry. All right. So this is the area where we primarily work with clay. This is called the wedging table. There's a big smile underneath this mask. This is a wedgie table. It's made out of plaster, so it absorbs clay. Over here, I have a bucket full of water, it looks like, but there's really mushy clay in here. That's where I recycle the clay. So I lay it out on here. I usually let it sit overnight, and then it gets to a good consistency where we can work with it. So remember that we are making two pinch pots, and we're going to put them together to create the body of an animal. So then the other parts of your animal, any other appendages and stuff like that would be added onto the clay. So today what I wanted to do is like kind of just get one piece done. So I've recycled this clay and divvied it up so that it's kind of a small piece of clay. And I did talk about wedging the last time on Friday. I talked about wedging. So wedging is where you are taking your hand, pushing down and away from the clay. So I'm not smushing it down flat and like folding it over on itself. I want to keep it kind of as solid as possible, but I'm just kind of pushing down to condense the clay together. And that should remove any air bubbles that possibly are there. And then once you get this kind of in good shape, and you don't really know if you've gotten all the air bubbles out, that's very hard to tell, but you want to make it nice and round. And then you take your thumb and go straight down into the center of it. And then you don't want to go all the way through because you need a bottom, but you want to go pretty far deep into it, and then you're going to start to pinch. And I usually start to pinch at the bottom. And then I'm just kind of moving my piece around as I'm pinching. So I'm not pinching like this. I'm pinching kind of using the flat parts of my finger here and my thumb on the inside. And you can control this. If you want it tall, what you want to do is you want to kind of like pinch in and pull. So if you want your piece kind of tallish instead of wide, or if you want it wide, you just kind of keep continuing to pinch it out. So your goal is to get the walls of your pot nice and even. And then when we make the second one, your goal would be to make it this pretty close to the same size as the first one. So, and this is a quick rendition of it. So it should kind of look like this, should have height to it. You don't want it too flat unless you're got an idea of what you're going to make. So tomorrow, I guess I'm kind of jumping the gun, but I wanted you guys to start this because we have today and tomorrow and then a little day off and then Thursday, Friday. So I wanted you to get kind of started so that by tomorrow we would have this piece, two of them put together so that you have the body of your piece. So I have another pinch pot here that I made earlier. And this one will have to grow a little bit wider in order for it to get put together like that. So what I'd like afterwards for you to do is clay, you always want to cover clay up, keep it wet so that you can continue to work with it. So over here in these milk crates are boards. So you want to grab a board. You want to put your name on it with tape and a marker. You're going to take your piece when you're done today. If you don't get anything done today, that's fine. Like say for instance, you played around with it and you're like, I'm not into this. Just crumple it up and we'll recycle it and be able to use it again. But say you have something that you want to use. Name this. You're going to take a piece of paper towel, dampen it, put it over your piece. And then in here are plastic bags. You're going to just slide it into a plastic bag and put it up on your shelves. Put it right behind Dan there. It says period 3. I'm going to clean those up. I'll put all the vases up to the top so you have room for that. So then also while you're working, sometimes your clay can crack. So over on the table over there are little containers. You can throw a little bit of water in there. Dip your finger into the water, and if you have some cracks, you can just kind of smooth them out. You don't want to use too much water because I did recycle this clay and kept it really soft so that it was easier to move around. So you want to make sure that you're not adding too much because it'll get very, very soft easily and not be able to hold its shape. So I'm thinking if you got one done today, that's an accomplishment. And also you may think like, so the basic shape of the body can be used for any kind of animal. So you may want to think about what your animal is, or you may also just make a shape and then go from there. You don't have to have your end game in mind right away. All right, so there's clay here. I wedged it up. So take some, and then you can work back at your tables, that's fine, and get some stuff done.
Do you put anything down on the table?
No.
Okay.
No. It's art. Great. So for those of you working from home, you do, if you have a piece that you want to save, you do want to put some paper towel on top. Don't make it too drippy wet. Squeeze it out, put it on top, kind of like this. And then store it either if you have something like a paper plate or something to put it on, you can do that. And then plastic. And remember, I talked to you about plastic as far as do not use shopping bag plastic. You could use the plastic. If you used all the clay that I gave you, which I don't think you will, you can use that plastic. If you have plastic bags, like, freezer storage bags, you can use that. You could share it with, you can share it with your bag of clay that I gave you. Stick the extra clay in the back. You could also, that extra clay, put a wet paper towel on that too to keep it nice and wet for you to work with. And then put your piece in and kind of share that bag if you want. Just make sure that that bag is airtight, that you're not letting any air get into it from day to day. Okay, so if you have clay and you picked it up, you're going to shoot for 1 pinch pot today. You could think about what the animal is that you are thinking of making. Whether you want something tall and skinny, or if you want something big and fat. What's up?
This is yours or not?
It is mine.
Okay. Kind of borrowed it when you were. Sorry.
That's okay. No worries. You returned it.
Using it for photos.
You're all good. All right. So, this is kind of wide, not very tall here. I'm thinking kind of like a puffer blowfish maybe is what I'm going to try and make out of this. I could make it rounder, and we'll see tomorrow. I'll give you a lot more information tomorrow about some. Okay. So your pinch pots are going to create an animal. So you're not making both. You're using those pinch pots together to create. So this is a body. See how this is like kind of solid? It's not solid, it's hollow. And I put 2 pinch pots together here and here. You can kind of see a line right here where they joined. And then what I will do with this is I'll add probably another little pinch pot on the top for the head, making a cat out of this one. Then I'm going to use some extra clay for the paws here. I'm probably going to build up maybe the back, like the cat's going to be sitting. So this will grow. I will continue to use this as an example for you guys. But this pinch pot will go together with another one. And I'm not ready to do this yet, but they'll go together like that. Okay, so you would have 2 put together like that. All right. Good. Okay, Julie, great. All right, so anybody else have any questions at home? Also remember, definitely make sure that you are communicating with me if you need clay, however you need to get it, come to school. If anybody's coming to get their photograph taken tonight, I'm going to have some at the gym where you're getting your photos done. So if you did not get any and you're coming in anyway for that, let me know. I will get it down there for you today. So if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to ask.